Hi again, everyone. This video is sponsored by contribution from Ursula, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie. I've recently made a summary of year 2016 and realized that most of my recovery I've done until now is thanks to you. You've made a few videos for me. For example, when narcissistic mothers give birth to their daughter, wife, best friend, and the guilt the narcissist gives you isn't true. I cannot find words to thank you enough. I don't even bother searching for therapists anymore. They don't know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. Once my knowledge about narcs and psychology grows, I often see too much. I see through people much clearer, and it's as useful as terrifying. Recently, our friend came to our house and he was typing with his narc brother. They were arguing. Our friend started reading their messages out loud, and I was basically saying what his narc bro might say before he actually said it. I was right 90% of what he said before he even said it. That's scary. It happens to me very often. The amount of narcs in society is higher than I ever thought. At the same time, every few weeks, between me and my boyfriend, the subject of having kids comes up. And I realize that I'm terrified of children and having children. They are a white card, as philosophers say. You can't read them and you don't know what they will become. The idea of having a girl doesn't terrify me as much as having a boy, because girls rely more on their fathers in terms of their future and their sense of security, but boys rely on their mothers. I am terrified of such responsibility. I'm terrified that I would create another another narc. I'm terrified of the idea that they would live in this fucked up world and I wouldn't be able to protect them. I also think that I would overprotect them, which would mess them up. I personally believe that it would be much better for me if I was never born. So how can I be so cruel to my kids and bring them into this world? Whenever I see children on the street, I literally pray for them that they live away from narcs and have a safe childhood, which I never had and so many people didn't have. I know I would do everything for my children, but if they met narcs, be with the narcs, or be hurt by narcs, I would die of pain of not being able to help them enough. My boyfriend came from good, normal family. His parents love me and I love them. Therefore, he really doesn't understand my fear, but he respects it. Do you think that this fear of mine could ever pass? Is there anyone else having similar feelings to me? Maybe it's only me, but I feel like once you are hurt by narcs, especially if your parents are the narcs, there's nothing so good in life to compensate enough for it. Thank you for your comments on this. I'm sending all my love to you and your wonderful wife. Best regards, Ursula. This is a tough one. This is tough. You know, I had the same fears before Aaron was born. The same fears. I'll say this, and I've said this before in regards to having children. Before you have a child, you better know 100% that that's what you want to do, that you want to be a parent, and that's exactly what you want to do, and that you want to make that sacrifice and you're willing to do whatever it takes. You have to be 100% sure about it. It's one thing to like children, it's another thing to want to be a parent to a child. Add in the fear of creating another narcissist on top of that, another abuser on top of that, another whatever, based on what you went through, the fear becomes out of control. Does that mean we should never have children? You should never have children? No. No. What it means is you need to make sure that that's what you want. Because there's a stigma. I know you're overseas and I'm here, and I know that if you're married and you don't have children, that there's something wrong with you, that, well, what's your problem? You're selfish, you're greedy, you don't want to, excuse me. That's fine. If you want to be selfish and you don't want to give up the life you have, and that's fine as long as you're honest about it. Because what's more selfish, having a kid and then resenting the child and then trying to do both and neglecting the child and bringing, you know, I think too many people just have kids because it's something to do, because other people have kids. And well, so and so had a kid, so I gotta have a kid. And you see how nice they played there. And like, when you're having these nice moments with children and you're seeing them in their nice moments. You don't gotta take them home. You don't gotta deal with. Like, there's a lot more to being a parent, and I'm sure you know this. But the guilt of not having a child is what I think drives a lot of people to have a child. Okay, the way you're talking now and what I know of you now, Ursula, I don't think at this point you're ready to have a child. Okay, with therapy, and if that's something like, hey, I really want a child and I want to do this, then have a child. You understand narcissism. Remember, it is a choice. Your parents chose to abuse you. So whether or not you have a child, whether or not you have children or not, whether or not they become narcissists largely is on you. Whether or not they get abused is largely on you, because you have the choice. You already know how wrong it is. You've already acknowledged the problem. You know what it is. You can define it. So do you really think that you could do that to your own child at this point, knowing how wrong it is, knowing how damaging it is, knowing what it'll do to them? Whether you have children or not. I mean, I think if you did, I don't think you would ever do that. Could you be perhaps a bit overprotective? Sure, but I think you're smart enough to know where spoiling and making a child into a golden child leads as well. I think you have enough of a basis that if you decide you really want to have a child, then you should be able to, then you'll be able to have a child without fear of any of this shit leaking in. I wish I knew about it, all of this, before I had Erin, because I could have changed a lot of things. A lot of things that I got, a lot of things that done a lot of things different. You have an advantage a lot of us don't, Ursula. You already know about it. You already know what it is. You know how it works. You know the many levels of it. I can't see you repeating the behavior, but that's what the narcissist does. The narcissist makes you fear that you'll repeat their behaviors. But you already can identify them and you already know what they are. So I don't think that should be much of a problem. So thank you again for your contribution, and thank you for your story and your question. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, or you'd like to set up a private Skype chat or have a private video made, you know what to do with the PayPal and the email links in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ali Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.